Star Wars The Clone Wars is regarded as one of the best pieces of Star Wars media ever, and today I'm going to be building one scene from every season out of LEGO. So, let's get building.
Under arrest. You have the right.
Probably the most iconic battle in Season 1 is Ryloth. I used some gray slopes for the rock work, and also added a secret area for some droids in the back of the build. I wanted to make sure I could get the bridge inside of the build, and I used 1x4 translucent blue tiles for them. I think the build came out really well. I added a bunch of grass pieces, as well as some computers in the back filled with battle droids. I added 2 super battle droids, as well as an ARC Trooper. The ARC Trooper is probably going to need some help, so I added Mace Windu so he can help take out the super battle droids. Overall, I think this mock turned out really well. On to Season 2. Obviously for Season 2, I had to build the second Battle of Geonosis. I started off using plates and mixing all sorts of brown and tan pieces together. Then I used snot bricks to attach the plates to the base. On the base, I used various brown slopes to create the rocky Geonosis texture. This build was challenging because I didn't have many dark orange pieces. I then created these pillars with the very few dark orange pieces that I had. I added them to the build and added everyone's favorite clone pilot / commander.
Are you sure about that?
Season 2 is complete. I think the build turned out pretty great, and it's time to move on to Season 3.
Hanging in there, Snips?
I was excited for this next build because the Citadel is one of my personal favorite Clone Wars arcs. I used snot bricks to attach my 16x16 plate upwards, with an unlucky clone trooper's helmet inside of it. Here's the Season 3 build complete with our heroes climbing up the Citadel. I used multiple different cheese slopes to create the lava effects, and I have a Jonak Toys decaled Echo, as well as Commander Cody and Obi-Wan climbing up the Citadel walls. I'm happy with this build, and let's go to Season 4.
Time to lock and load!
For Season 4, I got to create a mock from my favorite arc of the Clone Wars, Umbara. I used filler brick to make the Flora brick eye. I also used tire pieces to create the alien plant life on Umbara. At the end, I added red and blue studs to make the floor as accurate as possible. The scene I recreated is arguably one of the saddest scenes in all of the Clone Wars, when the clones find out they have just been killing their own brothers. I have a custom decaled Kix and Dogma from Jonak Toys. The tire pieces for the alien plant life is one of my favorite parts about this build. I think the build turned out pretty decent, and now we're going on to Season 5. I don't have a time lapse of me building this scene, but the scene I recreated was when Ahsoka Tano is on the run from the clones. I made this interesting arch piece that works really well for the end of the sewer. This build is built on normal bricks used as a floor, and I add snot pieces to put the figures on it. I think this build turned out great. On to Season 6. For Season 6, I wanted to build Fives' death scene. I used 4 of these weird hollow 8x8 plates and connected them together using plates underneath them. Then, I added tiles and jumper plates so I could position the figures where they needed to be. I added multiple crates to the build to best represent the scene that I'm creating. Like that, Season 6's build is complete. I wanted to make sure I could add the shock troopers taking their helmets off to honor Fives' death. This is one of the saddest scenes in Clone Wars, but I think it turned out great. On to Season 7. For Season 7, I created the Battle of Mandalore. I wanted to start by creating the walls with their blue windows. For the windows, I used 1x4 blue tiles and a 4x6 blue plate. I also created the throne room in this very small area. I lost the orange stained glass piece, so I used 2 2x6 orange plates. I added my Gar Saxon minifigure and my custom decaled Captain Vaughn from Jonak Toys. I created the road and added jumper plates so I could position the figures where they needed to be. Inside the throne room, we have Ahsoka Tano and Darth Maul fighting. I then added this jet trooper with a translucent rod. This being the final build, I think it turned out amazing. Just like that, I completed my goal of making a scene from every season of the Clone Wars. Comment down below what was your favorite build, and subscribe so you don't end up like this unfortunate clone.